My name is Penny Higgins. I'm a research associate with the University of Rochester. I'm here as a geochemist and I'm also a vertebrate paleontologist. Right, so I'm part of the Natural Trap Cave project because of my expertise in geochemistry. In particular, I work with things like this partial horse tooth. I can take this partial horse tooth and analyze the chemistry of it and tell you something about what this horse was eating when it was alive and what the weather was like when it was alive. And that gives us lots of insight into what the animals were experiencing when they were alive these thousands and thousands of years ago. So horse teeth are of particular interest because they're very tall. This is actually one of the specimens we pulled out from right here. This is a broken tooth. They're often a lot longer, but from this we can get it records about 18 months of the horse's life. And we can take geochemical samples along the length of this tooth and get a picture of what the weather was like at particular times of the year and what the animals were eating at that time of year. And that's part of the larger picture we're interested in and how the environment changed over time. The horse, there are actually two different types of horse in Natural Trap Cave. There are horses that look much like modern zebras in here, and there are also horses that are called stilt-legged horses. This should be oriented like that.
Yeah, so this should be...
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's a pathological. The next thing we'll do is we have this tooth and we'll bag it up and we'll take it home and I'll bring it to my laboratory. And what I will do then is I'll take a dental drill and I'll actually drill little tiny slots in the tooth enamel, take the enamel powder and put it into a mass spectrometer. And what I look at in particular are stable isotopes of carbon and oxygen. And oxygen tells me about the weather and the temperature, and the carbon gives me information about diet. The work that I'm doing, with the tooth enamel and geochemistry, is one small part of this much greater project. Another thing we do just right here in this area, we've actually shoveled out some of the sediment from here. We've taken it up top and screen washed it to look at the very small fossils, the microfauna, we would call it. Because from the small stuff, we learn about the little things that were alive, the rodents and the birds and the lizards and such. And that tells us a lot also about the environment, but about how it affected the little things. And they tend to be pretty sensitive to environment, whereas something big like a horse, moves around. It gives us an average sense of the environment. So these two things together give us a much broader picture of the total environment, and it can help where when I'm looking at this horse tooth, if my interpretation could go one way or another, from the microfauna, I can help figure out which way is the correct way. And it gives us paints us a much more complete picture of the environment.